Hello, this is Robert Morris for Save Humanity. I'm following up on my previous video, Canada Government Supports Neo-Nazis, and found some interesting information. First off, let's go back to what we were discussing in the last video regarding these free corps. It's an interesting word, and we looked it up. Free Corps on Wikipedia tells us it's a German volunteer military or anti-communist paramilitary unit. Well, why is that important? I do think that Canada and U.S. have put in a coalition government or a coalition proxy government made up of neo-Nazis for a very, very specific reason, and I think it's because of their hatred for the communists. And that's that. I think what they want to do is use them against these nationalists, against the pro-Russian separatists. And quite frankly, since the pro-Russian separatists have the support, at least the moral support of Russia, at the very, very least, could definitely cause some reactions or responses from Russia, which would basically put America in a position to act. And you act how, you might ask? Well, in this fact sheet that I found going back to February, I noticed that this is when the coup was first basically drafted up on the table. And it says here, Western nations led by the European Union and the Obama administration are backing an outright neo-Nazi regime change coup in Ukraine. If the effort succeeds, the consequences will extend far beyond the borders of Ukraine and neighboring states. For Russia, such a coup would constitute a casus belli, I'm not sure how to say that, coming as it does in the context of NATO missile defense expansion into Central Europe and the evolution of a US-NATO doctrine of prompt global strike, which presumes that the United States can launch a preemptive first strike against Russia and China and survive the retaliation. Now, I wasn't aware that this was happening in February. I had other things going on in my life, so I simply did not know. However, by June, I was paying attention, and I remember clearly that this was well covered by several different people, especially those of us in this truth movement, the U.S. war doctrine has been changed. U.S. nuclear weapons are no longer restricted to a retaliatory force, but have been elevated to the role of preemptive nuclear attack. And I'm sure many of us know about this. But I think where the relevance comes in is right there in Western Ukraine with these neo-Nazis. Yeah, I think we're using them as tools, folks. And if you think that's okay, first off, I don't think it's okay to be supporting a neo-Nazi regime whatsoever, or government, or proxy, or whatever the hell you want to call it. But second to that, I don't think it's right to use anybody for anything. And I think what's happening right now is that they're trying to basically poke the bear, if you would. And that would make sense, because now I can see why Russia is actually all over the Arctic Circle, arming it to death and basically patrolling it 24/7. Now, I don't mean to be fear-mongering. It's not my intention at all. I'm just trying to point out the breadcrumb trail here to see what the motive actually is. And if the United States has extended its missile defense system into Central Europe, that has huge impact, and puts them in a very, very strategic position, which makes perfect sense why Russia took over Crimea, because they wanted the ports so that they could still basically land on the coast and still have access to the land there. That's their port of entry, basically, in a state of combat. But anyhow, that aside, that's not even the major point. The major point is that all of these guys are basically setting their pieces up on the board, and well, the chips are going to fall into place eventually. Guys, I can't stress this enough. Get on the horn. Get to your MPs. Get to your heads of state. Like U.S., the good people of the U.S., you guys have to do the same thing. You guys got to basically jump on this. You guys are way further down the rabbit hole than we are in some ways, and in other ways we've been fucked forever, just being a British colony in the first place. So nobody has it better right now. We just have to fight for our rights and get them back. I can't stress it enough, guys. This is going crazy. Anyhow, that's all for now. I'm going to continue digging here. I'm going to find some more information, and as I find things out, I'm going to keep this series running. I'll be on again, and you guys, peace.